Hello everybody, my name is Robert Brath. I'm an artist and I do commentary videos. I hope you enjoy this video as it is the first on my channel and I hope you decide to stay with me. In this video, I will be talking about Kalvin Garrah and how he has negatively impacted trans youth in the trans community as a whole. I would like to apologize if you hear a bird in the background. He's quite chirpy and I don't want to put him in his cage. Okay, enjoy! If you don't know me from personal experiences, I am part of LGBT community. I'm bisexual and transgender to be specific. I identify as male and I use he, him, they, them, it, its, and neo-pronouns. My experience with my own gender identity and how I express it has been majorly impacted by a popular trans YouTuber named Kalvin Garrah. Kalvin Garrah has been doing YouTube for a few years now and has just recently quit. I used to watch him in 6th through 7th grade when I was struggling with my gender identity. I identified as gender fluid back then, and my own image of my identity has been broken beyond repair because of that. I used to think that in order to be trans, then I had to have full body dysphoria. I had to transition, and if I wasn't dysphoric of every aspect in my life, or if I wasn't going to transition from female to male, I was what Kalvin Garrah would call a trans-trender. After 3 years, I rewatched his trans-trender video to remember his definition of trans-trender. His definition of the word is someone who presents differently from what they identify as, someone who doesn't transition, and someone who doesn't experience dysphoria the same exact way he does. That's just my understanding of what he thinks it is. Okay. He critiqued a beautiful trans person named Rin throughout the whole video, starting off by saying it bothered him that Rin didn't pass as masculine or even androgynous, and I think he takes this as they don't have dysphoria because they don't try to pass, when that isn't necessarily what dysphoria always is. In some cases, people can be dysphoric over how they look, but everyone experiences dysphoria in different ways. I remember this really messed with my head, and it still messes with my head now. I do choose to dress and look very feminine. I do wear skirts and I do have long hair and wear extreme makeup. But that doesn't take away from my dysphoria and it doesn't make me any less of a trans person. He goes out of his way to misgender Rin and as a huge influencer, no matter what you think of a person, that does not give you any excuse to misgender another trans person. That is sickening and horrible. Rin had every right to flip out over what he had to say. His words still cloud my mind to this day. I remember waking up in the middle of the night the other day thinking, what if he's right? What if I am just faking it? What if I'm doing it for a quote-unquote trend? When I know none of that stuff is true. Moving on from the trans-trender video and topic, his video about neo-pronouns really messed with me. Before I get into it, can we just appreciate this very delicious like to dislike ratio? And the view to comment ratio? Like, yes, please blow up his notifications with Genshin Impact nonsense while not giving him views. These are some of my favorite comments. Y'all are so funny. This video majorly messed with me because as someone who uses neo-pronouns, this video really hurt. Basically, calling the pronoun stupid at a joke can really mess with a person. For example, I use my pronouns because since I'm neurodivergent, I struggle with my gender expression. He brings up neurodivergency being linked to transgenderism. Is that a word? As us saying neurodivergence makes you struggle with your gender He brings up neurodivergency being linked to transgenderism. Is that a word? As us saying your neurodivergency makes you struggle with gender itself instead of us actually saying your neurodivergency makes you struggle with your gender expression. I use pronouns like moo, moos, and cat self because 1, cows and cats are a huge comfort animal for me, and 2, those pronouns make me feel comfortable with myself. So hearing him say your pronouns are stupid, it makes me feel like my own interests and comforts are stupid. Now, enough about me. I went out of my way to ask my trans Instagram followers, if you want to follow me there, my Instagram is rabbit.breath, how Kalvin has affected their relationship with their gender. They all wanted to stay anonymous, so here's what they had to say and my unscripted commentary. I'm non-binary, and people like him are the entire reason I won't change my pronouns because I ultimately feel invalidated and in danger. I get that from time to time. I get scared whenever I want to change my pronouns to something that makes me feel more comfortable, because sometimes I think, what if I get hate for this? What if people tell me that I'm not actually trans? And what if I am not actually trans? What if I'm faking it? So I do get that from time to time. I watched him all throughout middle school. I was a naive kid, along with other friends, and I really did find his videos quote-unquote the truth. When really it was just bashing people for expressing themselves how they should and be allowed to, and misconstructing them to be less of human like the rest of us. Because of Kalvin's infamous transgender, I saw people who didn't fit the cis basic norm look simply because they chose not to go. Because of Kalvin's infamous transgender, I saw of people who didn't fit the cis basic norm look simply because they chose to go what made them happy, not make them unhappy by fitting into somewhat of what they wanted to. As transgenders, because Kalvin and his community said so. His broadcasting style focuses too much on causing harm to other people in real life rather than remaining focused on criticizing values and ideas. And I didn't realize that. Many of his videos are smear campaigns aimed at people who believes are not transgender. His videos often devolve into rage-filled rants spewing I can't say that word, of hurtful slurs at people for simply existing or using the trans label. His videos and opinion partook in my past opinion of the trans community, but as he got worse, me and my friends got older. We saw how fucked he was displaying these people and how fucked he worded and overall fucked his opinions and truth was. Another thing, what a specific Kalvin video partook in my fucked middle school life was his video on Brennan Beckwith. He specified bashing him for his upper chest area, it was too large, and how could it be trans if that's all out? What left a mindful scar on my mind for years till this day, that you cannot pass for anything if you have heavily disputed female anatomy. Ever since that video, I've never really had hope nor comfort to shift to anything but femininity for what I wanted to actually express and what shouldn't have been an insecurity issue at that age. Sorry for stuttering in that one. It was a lot of text and I can't read. I agree with everything they have to say. Everything about what they had to say was completely correct. His videos turned into rants when he believes his audience aren't actually transgender and just cis people, but a lot of his audience is trans, and they are heavily affected by what he has to say. I have to find the last person. I watched Kalvin a lot when I was in 6th grade, and I still didn't really have a personality and was very impressionable, and I convinced myself I was cis because I didn't have quote-unquote enough dysphoria, and I liked presenting feminine from time to time, and I just didn't fit his idea of trans people. Still now his idea is stuck, and I'm like, what if I'm just faking it and it's a phase, you know? I just wish I never watched him when I was so young and thought because he spoke fast and used big words he was a believable source. I know how they feel. I used to watch him and I still reject my own identity currently. I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm just like, what if he's right? I still present femininely, so I just think I'm faking. It sucks. Yeah. I'm not the only one being affected by his horrible videos. Millions of trans people are out there struggling to this day from words he has said years ago. I'm aware Kalvin has quit YouTube, and I'm glad he has. I haven't had the chance to watch his hour-long quitting video, but I'm just glad his words cannot plague the trans youth of the future. I hope Kalvin is someone the trans community can put behind us as we continue to grow and figure ourselves out, because I think we can all agree that Kalvin has set the community back by a lot. I'm unaware if he said he would be returning in his video, but I'm really hoping he takes time to learn about stuff like neopronouns, and I hope he can learn that other people experience dysphoria differently from him. I hope he realizes the toll his words have had on the trans youth, and I hope he takes the time to listen to transgender creators who don't agree with what he has to say. Basically, I just hope he grows out of this mindset he has. Well, that's all I have to say on this topic. I hope you all enjoyed this video and the art I was drawing in the background. I'm drawing my current YouTube banner, and the character is my original character named Ant. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, maybe subscribe. I do plan on making these videos at least once a week. If you want, like the video or dislike however you're feeling today, and subscribe. I hope I see you next time. Bye bye.